this episode, I reveal the 8 prosperity personality types and how each one is uniquely wired to create wealth by saving every penny like Dave Ramsey or hustling like Gary Vee might actually work against your personality. Plus real-life success examples from Taylor Swift to Tony Robbins and anything in between. The big lie why traditional money advice doesn't work for you. We've all had money problems at some point in our lives, and for many of us it's been a persistent problem. If you're a Christian, maybe you thought that the poverty vow makes you a better Christian, or you tried to follow the advice of gurus like Dave Ramsey and just couldn't follow those pieces of advice that tell you to save every penny, to be super smart, and not to spend frivolously. And for some people that works. Then there are the Gary Vees of this world that tell you just push harder, work harder, and you just have to force yourself to get to the success you really want. Well, I've worked in Hollywood for many years, both as a professor of cinema as well as in the Hollywood film. I've found that there are 8 prosperity personalities, and they are hardwired to the human brain. And unless you know yours, you may find yourself in the wrong movie and are trapped there not knowing it. Some people love westerns, others love romantic comedies or Hong Kong action films. But if you are trapped in a wrong movie, so to say, you spin your wheels. Well, let's correct that right now. The 8 prosperity personalities and how you are hardwired for prosperity and getting rich. This is for you even if you always believed that only other people have that special ability or that smarts or that Harvard degree or just a green thumb or just hustle harder and you can't do it. This is for you if you are more about feelings and comfort than about Wall Street journals and the latest stock values. This is for you even if, like for many of us, a spreadsheet makes you sweat, stick your hand in the sand and avoid for another day. When a budget gives you hives, well, wealth doesn't have to be built the traditional way. If you have failed before, started and stopped 100 times, told to risk more, and yes, you have risked and lost it all and don't know now how to get back up. If you are too sensitive or too scattered, you might be perfectly wired to prosper in your own way. Even if you don't want to be famous, don't want to dance in front of the TikTok camera, hustle 24/7, and don't want to manage a team, you can still live abundantly and create real wealth that fits you like a glove. Even if you grew up in scarcity or were taught that poverty is a virtue, let me tell you, no one helped other poor people by joining the poor. You help others by creating wealth in abundance for yourself first. It's like that oxygen mask in the airplane we all know about. Even if you inherited money trauma or never saw wealth modeled in a healthy way, and that can be because your family was stuck in a poverty cycle, or your family was wealthy but there was no love and you decided wealth must not be for you because wealth and love seemingly were contradictory values. And so inadvertently, you lost all your money over and over again. This is for you even if numbers aren't your thing. This is for you if you've done all the courses, read all the books, tried all the budgets, and still feel stuck and now perhaps you are well in the second half of life and seem to want to give up. It's like, I give up, I don't know where to go from here. This is for you especially. So what if I told you that saving every penny, like Dave Ramsey wisely perhaps tells us, but for you, might be the worst possible advice when it comes to your money story and ability. What if hustling 18 hours a day, like Gary Vee tells us all to do, for you would be the fastest way to burn out instead of blow up? That is because prosperity isn't a one-size-fits-all. And today I'm going to prove that to you. In this video, we are going to dive deep into the 8 prosperity personality types and how each one works differently in creating wealth. Here is what we're going to explore: the 8 personality personas or types and how each one approaches wealth differently. What your prosperity persona might look like and how you can capitalize on it. Real life success stories and how they leverage their personality persona from people as different as Tony Robbins to Taylor Swift or Steve Jobs. Why your unique prosperity style might be your secret weapon, even if you like what others label as luxury, laziness, and comfort. Hang on, I have a special for you. And a free assessment where you can determine once and for all what prosperity persona you are. Here's what you'll get out of it: clarity about why some strategies drain you while others light you up. Permission to stop cookie cutter money advice that keeps you stuck. Insight into how your natural wiring attracts or resists wealth no matter what profession you might find yourself in. Examples that make it click instantly. A plan to start making more money starting today. Stick around because this could change about everything, how you think about money, wealth, prosperity, and the kind of life you would like to build, even if you have failed in the past. Here's the truth: most money advice today is created by money gurus or people who think of one personality type, usually the ruler or the accumulator. Think Dave Ramsey: save every penny, get out of debt, and budget every dollar. Think of the future, don't spend now. Those are valid paths, but what if you were wired differently? What if that kind of approach actually kills your creativity and your potential to make money and create prosperity for yourself? What if it numbs your joy and makes you sabotage yourself? Can you relate? Because money is emotional and your prosperity style is personal and psychological. And your personality style is personal. Let's dive right into the 8 personality types. Let's break them down with brief, vivid character sketches and see if you recognize yourself. The romantic. They crave beauty, comfort, and luxury experiences. They attract wealth through sensuality, aesthetics, and feeling good. Pinching pennies literally pinches out the joy of their life, and like stepping on a water hose, stops their prosperity in an instant, because their ability to make money is through the romantic's secret power persona: luxury, comfort, beauty, luxurious experiences. the celebrity. Another one that does not fit at all into the typical money guru's advice. The celebrity loves to shine, whether that's on a Hollywood stage or at your local theater or the local politician perhaps, or your celebrity realtor down the street who loves to make your house look like $1 million listing. They build wealth through visibility, fame, and influence. The celebrity especially shines on a stage, whether that be in their private life or on Instagram, social media, or in their personal circles. They will often be the center of attention, and by doing so will lift up everyone's spirits as they do so. Sometimes they spend lavishly on their lifestyle, but it can be their secret power weapon that gets them the listing to sell a home no one else can, or that creates just the right connection for their political career or in whichever arena they choose to operate in. The celebrity needs to shine and model for others what's possible. The ruler, they're natural leaders. They thrive on building empires. They build wealth through structure, control, and productivity. Oftentimes, they bring the entire team with them. The accumulator. Now, here we come to the Dave Ramsey types. They often see every money expense as a long-term investment. If they purchase anything luxury, it's with an eye on resale value. I know someone who buys Hermes bags only with an eye on reselling them long-term for much more than they bought. Everything is an investment. They create wealth for themselves through discipline, stability, and long-term planning. The Maverick, the risk taker, those who break the mold even if others criticize them. Where the celebrity needs the admiration of others, not so the Maverick. The Maverick doesn't care what you think of them. They are powered by the drive for freedom and innovation. And in so doing, sometimes they leave their team, their family, their partners behind. They love bold moves, innovations, and shaking up the system. They can live outside the map and break every convention that others tend to adhere to. Think of those explorers of olden times that seem to be riding off the cliff of the earth only to discover new lands, new continents, and build new societies. Think of Christopher Columbus or Marco Polo. That's the Maverick spirit. The alchemist, transformational, magical thinkers, sometimes living too much in their fantasy. Fantasizing is a marker of their wealth building strategy. They can seem to create wealth out of seeming nothing. Like the medieval alchemists who would put together two chemical structures to create something new. Create gold out of dust or create wealth out of dirt. Think artists who can, like Rauschenberg, splatter color across the canvas and make millions and millions. But it doesn't have to be confined to the artist. The alchemists can be found in any of the professions. But they often will put together two things no one else has thought of to combine, and out of that create seemingly magically something entirely new that brings something into the world no one else has done through their magical thinking. It's almost like they're waving a magical wand, and in that way create wealth for themselves. The nurturer, those are the caretakers, the healers. They create wealth through support generosity, and relationships. They like to see things grow. Think a Hollywood talent agent. Many Hollywood stars have been made a star. A star is born because they had a very wise nurturer agent. Nurturers have the proverbial green thumb. They can make things grow that is under the umbrella of supervision, and give of themselves, the poor things that are in themselves, into some other person or another project, and nurture it and bring it to fruition and bear fruit beyond anyone's expectations. They bring back to life that which may have withered, or where others don't even see potential. They see the tree within the seed, and they can bring that out. The connector, they are the people magnet. They can be the life of the party, or the therapist or psychologist who discovers deep secrets of the human soul, one-on-one, or about the human soul and psyche that helps everyone to understand humanity better. But they can also people be like the people behind WeWorks that decide that if you are together, you work better and more productive and have more fun in doing so. They operate through collaboration, partnership, and community building. Let's look at some famous examples in which you might recognize yourself. Let's decode some real people and how they created wealth for themselves and prosperity for themselves. Dave Ramsey, since we have spoken of him at the beginning, he is the accumulator but also a bit of the maverick. He thinks long-term financial strategy, but he often has outside the expected plans to make that happen. He is so driven by his accumulator side that he doesn't care if he breaks the mold to accomplish his long-term vision. He built his empire on defying the mainstream and mainstream culture that tells you to spend, spend, spend. Gary Vee, we talked about, he's the ruler who pushes harder, who creates an empire by sheer power of his will, more hustle, more growth, but it's not for everyone. The romantic alchemist, Elizabeth Gilbert of the Eat, Pray, Love fame. She wrote a famous book, of course, best-selling book, and that was made into a huge Hollywood movie. Well, her prosperity came through the romantic strive for pleasure, for experiencing each moment, to squeezing out the most life of every experience. But she's also the alchemist insofar as she didn't just sit behind her computer to write. She created new experiences for herself that, like the alchemist, where she put two and two together. She put together the pleasure principle with a deep spirituality to create almost a movement that has become almost like a trademark. Eat, Pray, Love, and its many variations have become household terms for us. Kris Jenner, the celebrity ruler, the ultimate mom-mager, the mom manager who rules not just her own empire, but that of her daughters. She does that through the celebrity personality. She, as well as her daughters, may not be the most talented, it's up to debate, but they most certainly know how to put themselves into the spotlight, how to have everyone look at them, the celebrity model that brought them unimaginable wealth, billions, fame, fortune, and recognizability. Taylor Swift, love her or hate her, She is the romantic connector. Her shows are both a romantic experience of beauty, pleasure, excitement, and abandonment, if you will, in the moment. But there's a connector element to it. It's her entire fan club who connect amongst each other and feel a sense of togetherness, a sense of community, a community built on the romantic pleasure principle. That's her secret formula of creating untold wealth and a sense of being a phenomenon worldwide, globally. Well, how about a nurturer connector? That seems a combination that doesn't seem to be made to make money. Well, let me tell you, every of the 8 personas has an ability, a unique ability to make money. Here is a nurturer connector example. Think Starbucks and Howard Schultz, the brain behind Starbucks. Prior to that, you could buy a cup of coffee perhaps for $1 at your local McDonald's. He took the sense of feeling nurtured, the different kinds of coffee that is not just exquisite, but different types of coffee that nurture your ability to be productive, perhaps. Many people in the arena of food or chefs or Michelin star restaurants are nurturers. Well, he took the experience of coffee to new levels, nurturing your sense of feeding the spirit. And some people even say that coffee is very beneficial, has flavonoids that are actually healthy for your body. Not so sure about the heavy cream and the sugar, but nurtures you when you may feel lonely as well, because the second part of the Starbucks empire is built on connection. Going down to your local Starbucks with your laptop, working in community, maybe striking up a chat with the person next to you and connecting creates a huge sense of connection that overcomes loneliness and then feeds back into the nurturing. It doesn't just nurture your body and your taste buds, but it nurtures your spirit through the connector's ability to create community. Here's a contradiction seemingly. The ruler, nurturer. Think Marie Kondo, the famous Japanese declutter expert. She is a nurturer insofar that her main purpose for decluttering is to feel more nurtured, to have an environment that nurtures you rather than bogs you down. Her famous phrase is, ask yourself with every item, does it spark joy? There is hardly any phrase that's more the nurturing phrase than that. And if it doesn't spark joy, if it doesn't nurture your spirit, chuck it out. If it does, keep it. But she's also the ultimate ruler. Her method is very methodically and very productive and very controlled. So she wants that her clients take everything out at once and then go through item by item and do so on a repeated basis. No, let's clean out one corner at a time. No, for her it's all or nothing. She also wants you to be in charge of your empire and create a clean environment where you can rule and be nurtured, where you have space for productivity and have the sense of being sparked by joy, as she would say. How about Tony Robbins, who almost single-handedly invented or reinvented the personal coach, the inspirational speaker profession, and of course made billions in doing so. Well, Tony Robbins is the connector alchemist. He creates both connections one-on-one with his clients and mass connections. He is a master at both sides of the connector, So as he puts through the paces one of the people he works with on stage, he connects deeply with them. But in doing so, he connects with the entire audience in the stadium where he speaks, and beyond that, as his shows are, of course, broadcast worldwide or shown on YouTube. So he has a very far-reaching network where he connects. He's the alchemist because, of course, he transforms people's phobias, he transforms people's ideas about themselves. He takes what he considers broken or what they consider broken or malfunctioning, perhaps, and almost magically, within seconds, minutes, he transforms them into the person they want to be, without years on the couch, as the traditional connector or therapist might be doing. Let's look at the romantic Maverick combination. Think Airbnb. Airbnb disrupted the hotels and romanticized the unique local travel experience. And Airbnb also broke the mold of hospitality, creating something completely unexpected, outside the norm, which is the Maverick's strength, while creating romantic experiences of luxury, comfort, pleasure, and a unique experience of travel. So what's your type? You are naturally wired for a certain relationship with money and prosperity. Your prosperity path might be comfort, not grind. Beauty, not budget. Service, not strategy. And once you know your type, everything gets easier. You stop forcing yourself to do it their way and start flowing in your way. And the goal isn't just to get rich, even though it is that as well, but it is to feel rich on your way as you get there. Ready to find out your prosperity type? I created a free, fun, and fast assessment that will tell you exactly what prosperity persona you are. And it's your first step into freedom to create wealth and prosperity for yourself the easy way, the way that fits you like a glove. Click the link below where you can access this assessment that is uniquely accurate, and it is deeply rooted in ancient psychological principles of how our human brain works. And here's the mic drop. What if the very thing you've been told is your weakness, your softness, your need for beauty, your love for connection, your unique propensity to be different from everyone else, are actually the keys to your wealth? You don't need to save every penny. You don't need to work till midnight and be exhausted and can barely think. You need to align with the way your personality is wired to create wealth for yourself. Once you unlock your prosperity personality, money starts to feel less like a struggle and more like an extension of who you really are. Take the assessment, know your type, and prosper your way.